Hello my loves, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about camel pose. We're going to talk about how to do it, variations, progressions, modifications, the common errors in a camel pose, and how to fix them. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, then give me a thumbs up. So camel pose, come into kneeling with the knees hip distance apart. Tuck the toes under. Feel the heels lifted up towards the ceiling. Have the shoulders, the hips and the knees all in a nice line with the crown of the head lengthening up. Make fists with the hands and draw your knuckles towards the back rim of your pelvis. Pull the shoulders back, pull the elbows back, feel the heart and the chest open here. And as you draw the elbows back, feel the chest lift and just tip the shoulders back towards the feet. Now try and keep the hips in line with the knees. In the full expression of the pose, the heel of the hand comes down to the heel of the foot. Bring the knuckles back to the pelvis and rise back up. Release. All right, it's a challenging pose, so let's look at some modifications through to the progressions. Camel pose, Ustrasana. I highly recommend that you do this on a folded blanket or a cushion. Your knees have very little cushion of their own. There's not a lot of fat around the knee pad, so support. That would be my first major tip for camel pose. So if you're a beginner, I highly recommend these two variations. The first one is going to use a chair. Bring your feet underneath the seat of the chair. Have your bum facing the seat of the chair. Draw your hands back towards the chair, and if you can, place your palms onto the chair seat. Draw the shoulders back, and then keeping the pelvis above the knees, just walk the hands back towards the back seat of your chair. Coming into camel pose here. Walk the hands back up and release. Remember to only come as far back as you feel comfortable. We're thinking about opening through the chest here. We're thinking about opening through the whole front side of the body. Okay, so the other variation for camel pose is to use a wall. To use a wall, have again cushion underneath the knees, bring the thighs towards the wall, bring the pelvis and the belly towards the wall. You can do the same thing as before and bring the fists towards the top part of your pelvis, and then keeping the thighs, the knees and the pelvis kind of where it is here, just tip the torso back, open through the chest and tip away from the wall. This gives you the idea that there needs to be this vertical line of your thigh bone, your femurs. And having the wall for some tactile support really helps get that into the brain. Use the wall for support. So, if you need some support and the chair is a little bit too easy for you, use blocks. Place them between the feet, have one on its low value, one on its higher value. Same thing as before, the fists come back towards the pelvis, draw the elbows back, draw the shoulders back, and then maybe the hands come down to the blocks. Common errors that we see in camel pose. The first one is that a lot of people believe that in order to come back with their torso, their head needs to come back. All that does is end up creasing through the back of the neck. It's not the same thing. We're opening through the front of the torso. Think about your L here. Bring it to the intersection of your clavicles and your chin. Bring one hand here, bring the other hand to the fist, draw the shoulder back, and then tip back. Keep the same space. Keep the same space. One of the other common errors is in order for people to reach back towards the blocks, they start to squeeze into the shoulders. They start to squeeze the shoulders forward, collapsing through the chest. Draw the shoulders back, rise up, so that you lengthen through the whole of the vertebrae here. Not just into the lumbar vertebrae, but into the thoracic. Don't scrunch. Lift. Think about the heart and the chest bone rising. The third common error in camel pose is that people don't back bend at all. So they'll come back here, they'll get the nice extension through the thoracic, but then to come back, what they'll actually do is start coming back with the pelvis. Instead, the pelvis stays above the knees and you come back into your back bend. So it's much better instead to do the version against the wall, to do the version with the chair, or do the version with the blocks. Think less about coming back and more about opening up. All right, my loves, I hope that helped give you some tips and tricks on how to do camel pose, variations, progressions, and the fixtures for those common errors. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And remember, my loves, karma is only a bitch if you are. So be nice, be kind, and be the change that you want to see in the world.